While Eichorst's new series centered around creating jihadis and reciting Shakespeare entitled Eichorst's Virgin Giveaway may be better ratings than Milk and Cookies with Setrakian, we can all agree on two things. For all to see some explosive clarity, and Dutch and Ephraim should probably be sticking to taking Uber, lest the next taxi driver confessional reveal strangely worded pedophilic tendencies about his own son again. All this and a Crimson Worm on tonight's The Strain After Show for Season 3, Episode 4, entitled Gone But Not Forgotten. Tune in.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AFTERBUZZ TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
In the wind. Zach, I really hate your stupid guts. All right, guys, thank you for tuning in to the Strain After Show here at AFTERBUZZ TV. We're talking about Season 3, Episode 4, entitled Gone But Not Forgotten. I just thought Dust in the Wind, kind of makes you feel a little bit like things are going badly for everybody.
Yeah, it's New York's having some troubles.
The fact that Ferelda survived is good news, but everything else you're like,
yeah. New York's having some real troubles and some fictitious problems.
So tonight we get a lot of commentary. I mean, we're coming off the heels of 9/11, of course, a week ago, and then we get there was a bombing in New York the other day, and this episode, of course, has a bombing in New York. It's kind of on topic. I'm curious if they had a conversation of whether or not to air this episode because of that.
I mean, it just happened last night, the bombing.
Yeah, it's kind of very timely. But thank you for joining us if you're watching live. If you're listening to audio, please go to iTunes, rate us 5 stars, give us a comment, we'll give you a shout-out. Or you can catch us here 9 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, Sundays, on AfterBuzzTV.com or YouTube.com/AfterBuzzTV. Joining me tonight is a great panel of great people. We have Stacey Newsome Santiago.
Hello.
Where can we find you on Twitter?
You can find me on Twitter at the Stacey Newsome. That's THE, of course, STACEY NEWSOM.
And we have our live chat roll stranger turned co-host, Michael Young. Thank you for joining us.
Hey, what's up? Late LK at One Youngster, bringing that nerd soul, and you can find me at Twitter on @OneYoungster, ONEYOUNGSTA.
And you guys can find me on Twitter at Stephen Lemieux, STPHNLAMIEOX, also doing the South Park After Show here and a few other things. So first up, let's go ahead and talk about the one question in the chat roll by Adam Fink says, does Quinlan have a dork? Because why else cover it? I think he meant dick, but...
That's what you were thinking in that scene?
No, that's what he was thinking, apparently. I wasn't thinking that at all. I was like, oh, okay, it's just like they put a tarp over him. But, I mean, it makes sense, but...
I was thinking, why isn't F wearing gloves? That's what I was thinking.
I'm guessing he does because they covered him, so maybe that's the human half that stayed,
No, I don't think so. I
real.
think he's the same as normal.
No, a mask.
As any other Strigoi.
F was wearing gloves. He wasn't wearing a mask. So I'm thinking, why wasn't he wearing a mask in that
Well, because I think he's not, like, afraid of him attacking him. Like, he's not afraid of...
Yeah, they're friends. They're...
I wouldn't call them friends.
Well, they're
frenemies. They're frenemies.
With friends like that, who needs enemies?
Yeah, they're frenemies. You guys were thinking about his ding dong? You guys were really thinking about his ding dong?
It was Adam.
Adam Fink in the chat.
Adam,
Why you gotta make us look like that? Adam Fink in the chat. All right, guys, thank you for tuning in again. I like this episode. I thought it was a good episode.
Yes. Very solid episode. There's 2 back-to-back. One more good episode, Strain, and we've got what you call a streak.
I know, right? I'm excited because this is kind of where I wanted the series to go. I wanted it to be interesting. I wanted things to move forward. I wanted people to deal with dilemmas and have to solve them. And it's like, I know we're probably not going to get that. Well, we'll probably get the Bella girl, the reporter girl again, but she'll be in the chain gang, so it's going to be so good.
I think she's going to meet a quick end.
Like, this is... Last episode and this episode are the first time in probably 10 episodes of this show where I've been looking forward to the next episode. So I think they're doing a great job if that's what they were going for, and I like seeing things progress.
They progressed, but they kind of didn't because they thought they'd accomplished the mission, but then at the end it's like, oh, we're kind of back where we started.
Well, they did destabilize the Strigoi to a certain degree. So that's a relatively big hit for a master that's been walking around for 2 seasons like he's untouchable. So it's it's not a full win for our rebel team or whatever, but it's a nice hit.
Well, we get a good line from Fett basically saying we disabled the Wi-Fi for the Strigoi, which is a good quote because it's kind of like the master can attach itself to any of the consciousness, but running 20,000 of them at the same time is probably more difficult until he chooses another host.
Yeah.
But we do find out that he's going to be just as powerful as he was before, once he chooses a new host, because you didn't even damage the Crimson Worm that nobody thought to tell Quinlan about when you're trying to kill this thing.
Yeah, and I mean, he
That
brought
was
it up.
wrong.
It was a perfect writing moment when they had him address like, hold on. So all this time, you never thought it would be interesting or of my benefit to know that there's one worm that definitely has to die because that is the essence of the master.
Which leads me to wonder, why did the professor watch this worm just squirm away down into the gutter in the last episode without doing anything about it?
I saw a red worm. It was scurrying into the desert. I could have gotten it, but I was talking so staccato this episode that I could not move forward because I was saying words like this because apparently that makes me seem like I'm angry, even though it just leaves the audience wondering why the fuck I'm talking like this.
I was like, maybe he's sick or something?
Yeah, what was the deal with that?
I know, it was like extreme this week, right?
It was really extreme. Like, at least you can get a sentence out before, but it's like, Setrakian, please, David Bradley, please, to show us pain. And David Bradley probably did this great performance of him being pain and saying, he's like, can you just talk really slow, like you have a stutter or something?
Break up all of your words.
Break up, not even words, break up syllables.
Yeah.
I don't understand.
I mean, it was a little weird.
He was like, this is my happy face or my smiling face. It just looked like a regular face.
It just didn't make sense because David Bradley's such a phenomenal actor that I'm just like, this has to have been a choice on somebody. Anyway, so let's go ahead and break down the first thing. We're going to talk about Eichorst and fucking dickbag Zach. So, Zach's in bed. He hears growling.
You're being a bully. You're bullying a kid right now.
Zach,
Well, how about
Zach
you throw a
deserves it
tennis
on
ball at me and see if I stop?
Zach deserves it on this episode because all of this time you never thought that any of them would turn on you. Mm-hmm. And he's just laying in the bed like it's just Saturday afternoon. And then his weapon of choice was a tennis ball.
He had a tennis ball. I didn't see a tennis racket in that room.
Oh, golly gee, Mr. Derwilliger. Oh, no, you're going to attack me now.
At least throw a chair. Was there a chair in the room?
Well,
I don't know.
At least he hit him in the face. He hit his target.
He did hit him in the face. I will give him that.
All right, so he knows all sorts of things. He knows that they use stingers.
Yes.
He knows that they're not very intelligent, so, okay, just hold the deadbolt so it doesn't open the door.
Thank you.
He also, he's got pizza boxes, block the stinger with a pizza box. He's got, his bed, put the mattress against the door, move the bed against something.
He's got his mom. He called his mom.
Mom, help me, Mom.
That's what you do when you're a kid. You call your mommy.
Man.
Hey, at least Carl could take care of himself by season 3 of Walking Dead.
That's true.
Yeah,
that's true.
I mean, he shot a kid in cold blood in that show. If only that kid was Zach, we'd all be better off.
Zach, there was a part of me that was like, just go on and bite him. Just go on and bite him.
Oh my
I know
gosh.
we can't do it yet.
You guys are mean,
But
boy.
just bite this kid. And
Am I
let's
correct
move on.
assuming that the person that went into the room was the kid that he saw his mom biting before?
Maybe.
I think it was the Steve Blues Clues shirt that he was
Oh,
wearing, so I
man.
think it was him.
You think?
Yeah.
He looked like a grown-up to me.
Yeah, it was weird though. So he's going in. Kelly Goodweather comes in, breaks the neck, and was like, "It's okay, son, because I'm not gonna eat you, but you smell real good."
Oh, yeah, she got a little creepy there. She was sniffing on the neck.
Yeah,
she was getting ready to go for it.
She was sniffing the neck hard too. She was like,
This is like the sitcom family dynamic gone wrong.
Yeah.
Where Kelly comes in and saves him. He's super happy. Oh, Mom, thank you. And she's going, like she's going to eat him. And then Eichorst, everyone's got that Nazi German uncle who comes in. What's going on here? I'm going to just nip this right in the butt. You guys cannot be doing this. You're a mother and child. That is not good.
Yeah, I'm okay. Are you really okay?
it's like, this is a bad situation.
There are going to
all
be
around.
some changes around here.
But
You best concentrate on that. On play on words.
one thing that's kind of cool is I guess maybe the writers meant to or maybe didn't. We saw Kelly definitely make a distinct choice between Strigoi and her son. We
Yeah.
definitely saw that, or it might have just been a situation like, no, he's for the master. I got to save him for that.
So what do you think? Do you think Kelly has somewhat control over her memories that she's gotten back now that the Master is weakened.
I think so.
Okay.
I think what we're seeing is her having maternal protection or maternal instinct protecting her son.
Okay.
That's what I feel.
So the reason I question that is because the end of the episode with Ephraim and the Master talking, saying your son's with me always. So I don't know, is Kelly one of the ones that the Master is making sure to keep control over, or do you think she has some kind of chance of rebelling?
I feel like for the sake of the drama, she has a chance of rebelling.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know, I think Eichorst and Kelly are going to end up being a problem for the Master later on, as far as either him being able to control them or maybe them wanting to, I guess, help him. You know what I'm saying? So I'm expecting a little bit of some friction between them because Eichorst definitely let us know he wasn't happy about not being chosen, and now that he's gotten a little taste of power with being able to control the bombers,
Jihadi Strigoi.
Yeah, I try not to use that term, but it's true.
Yes.
He gave them 70 virgin blood or something like that. I was like, what?
So let's move forward to this. Yeah, let's talk about this scene. So he says, "Time to act. We will strike back." The Eichorst strikes back. Episode 4.
Straight to commercial after that too.
And he's like, "Oh crap! I meant A New Hope." So Eichorst is talking to the Strigoi. He's got a bunch of normal-looking, made-up Strigoi that are like growling and stuff, but they look like normal humans. And he's promising.
They got that tick.
I know you are all hungry. I will promise you the blood of 70 virgins, as long as you complete this one little task.
And they fell for it.
And then he's quoting Henry V, Shakespeare.
Hey,
And like
man.
while he's doing that, he's putting bombs into the chest of these Strigoi.
Those Strigoi are dumb. Oh my gosh.
They're either dumb or dedicated. I don't know which one. They're like, I'm really down for the Strigoi cause.
So do you think that there's like an echelon, like a caste system that lets them obey Eichorst when the Master's away, or do you think it's like just he's trying to exert his influence over lesser Strigoi? Because I wonder if he can actually exert influence like the Master can, or if he can just do orders and hope they follow them.
Interesting. He must like have, the Master's authority over these Strigoi, and they must recognize that clearly.
So I'm guessing, to a degree, they kind of know he's the right-hand man.
Yeah.
So I guess, maybe they don't know that the Master's been sort of like weakened. Maybe they don't know. They just know that they feel different. Because,
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like they know what it feels like to not have the Master there. So maybe they really don't know what they're feeling, but they do know that Eichorst is the number 2.
He's
I
like
guess.
the substitute teacher. He's like the teacher's out of town, and then the
vice
kids-
principal of the-
Yeah, and then the principal's out of town. The vice principal's the one in charge of like the discipline or whatever. So like they know to like they better fall in line and do what the vice principal says, or the principal's going to be really mad when he comes back.
So what did you guys think? I mean, this is where we kind of start the 9/11 commentary for the episode. What did you guys think that they did this in like a disrespectful way, or do you think that, I mean, at this point we're 15 years past, that TV can kind of play loose with stories around this?
I didn't find it disrespectful at all. I think it
Yeah.
played really well into the storyline. And I was in New York on 9/11, so I think if anyone would be offended by, I think I'm highly sensitive to those things, and I felt like it was fine. It was it was natural to the storyline.
Okay.
Yeah, it didn't seem like they were trying to, I guess, like milk it. It didn't seem like they were trying to, I guess,
It didn't seem forced because,
Yeah.
9/11's always going to be part of the narrative of New York City, And so, the whole city's bombed out now. It's like it's 9/11 every day in that world.
Well, I just thought it was a very interesting choice to bring in the jihadi kind of promise.
Yeah, it was
because
weird.
that's a
Well, that's weird in light of what happened last night in New York.
Yeah, like there's
But they didn't know that.
For people who don't get it, in the faith of Islam, if you go to heaven, you get, I think it's 72 virgins.
Yeah,
I don't know if it's all issues of Islam faith. I don't know if it's
Yeah,
specific
that's-
ones, but that's the reference that Eichorst was making.
Yeah.
So he's we're directly referencing 9/11 later in the episode, and now he's basically creating suicide bombers while mentioning Islamic terrorism. So, I mean, it was very on the nose, and I wasn't sure, like, I'd like to know what the fans kind of thought of that, because I was just kind of, I was surprised they went that way. Like, I'm not saying...
It did seem kind of like out of the blue, but I guess it didn't
bother you.
Yeah,
Okay.
it didn't seem like they were disrespectful, I guess.
Okay.
But it just did seem weird. I was like, they're vampires. Do they care? I was like, I guess maybe they do.
So you guys thought they kind of went like, or you thought they went out of their way to make that parallel, to draw that parallel?
Well, he goes from talking about 70 virgins to reciting Shakespeare. Like, I feel like it was like a line that was thrown in. So, like, they made it for a reason, for the parallel, but they literally said that line to directly draw the parallel. So I just thought it was interesting. I was wondering how people in the chat and how everyone online thinking, because it's like, I wasn't offended by it. Like, I totally understand it, but I just want to know what other people are thinking, because this is a show that's seen by so many different groups of people. So let's move on to the outcome of his plan. We're going to talk about Commissioner Gordon. Who, for all that, is Commissioner Gordon.
Yeah,
so
to a certain degree.
As I break down this character, I will continue to call her Commissioner Gordon, just as I call Ephraim the head of the CDC when he's
the bald head of the CDC.
In fact, not the head of the CDC, but I will never admit that.
What do we call
Well, isn't he the most recent?
What do we call Fett? Sexy. That's what we call Fett. Sexy. Hey, if you can talk about Quinlan's ding dong, I can talk about how sexy Fett is, okay?
We weren't talking about it. It was Adam. Adam did that.
Jumpin' just sexy Fett,
Adam,
Batman.
you made us do that.
Oh, my God. Shout out to Haywood Wong in the chat, and Mr. Gary Needs Abusing. Where the hell are these SWAT vamps coming from is what Mr. Gary Needs Abusing. We'll talk about that with Quinlan's storyline. Okay, so she takes on this interview with this woman called Bella. And Bella completely sideswipes her, talking about these chain gangs of prisoners that, surprisingly enough, Feralda, who last season had such a strong stance on like how to do these things, didn't actually know about these chain gangs.
Not at all.
But when you have a government who's pulling out the military after 2 weeks, and you have police officers who are dying because they can't obviously see that somebody's fucking mother in a wheelchair is a Strigoi and decide to take the helmet off.
Yeah.
You kind of have to, you know, supply the front lines with some kind of people somehow. True. But so she gets sidelined and talks to Bella like, look, you're undermining the whole support effort. Because
well, you know what I liked about that scene though is that this is a kind of a parallel to how, you know, politicians, you know, are clueless in some ways or play clueless in the real world. And in the real world, you know, you find news organizations kind of aligning themselves, you know, not being, you know, very, I guess you can say objective. You know, you have like, you know, news organizations, you know, leaning left or leaning right.
Super biased.
And I like how this reporter was like kind of checks and balances on this woman. She was like, you know, okay, no, this is what's going on and I want answers. So that's what I liked about that scene.
No, there's definitely a good parallel between the media in this and what the media is doing today. It's very on the nose, just like the jihadi comment. It's basically like, you are directly interfering and causing danger to people by reporting on things like this when we need support right now. We don't need people questioning. It's in the same way that, like, I don't want to get in a rabbit hole here, but just the news coverage on police officers nowadays. It's like, yes, there are bad things happening, but some of this reporting is going too far and leading to violence towards normal police officers. So you know they're kind of expressing their frustration through this character for all.
Yeah,
it
and
feels
then
like.
I do like the way she responded to it because she didn't let that sleeping dog lie. Like she immediately was like, "What's going on? Why do I have to why do I have to hear about this from the news?" Yeah. You know, and she was like, "I want to see this." Well, no, it's not the reporter's fault, but she was definitely angry about it with Frank and wanted to know what was going on. The only thing is, I think she kind of knew when Gus, told her, what you see is what you get kind of thing. She knew what was going on there. These guys are being forced.
Well, she knows then. I don't think she knew before the interview.
Well, yeah, not before the interview.
So let's get to that. I'm tying in Gus and Joaquin. What's his name?
Angel.
Angel. I'm tying in Gus and Angel's storyline with Feraldo because they get woken up in this gym. They're just kind of kept like a chain gang, as they said. They're given weapons, no guns, and they're basically shoved into the tunnels.
Shoddy weapons.
We get to see Angel's Silver Cross knuckles, which I hope they give him gloves or something to use.
He was wearing those leather gloves.
Okay, good.
You know, so he comes. He has the hands.
So she takes Frank, and she's gonna go look at what these chain gangs are. Gus starts talking to the cop, basically saying, like, look, these people aren't prepared for this. I can do this. I know what to do, but you're just sending these people to their death. But Gus doesn't really care too much because he's never been one to really care about people unrelated to him. He takes point in the tunnel. We get two flanking him dead. Then the business guy is killed. I wonder if his character even got a name for his IMDb credit. Who knows?
Guy in the suit.
He got some lines,
prisoner
but he
in the suit.
Yeah.
And then Gus realizes the Strigoi are acting weird, tells what's his face, I don't think we got a name, and then Feraldo asks him, and he's like, you can see for yourself. While this guy is like obviously threatening to kill Angel if Gus says anything. So Feraldo's upset. She took out the Strigoi Wi-Fi, as Fett calls it, and Fett's kind of like selling the situation to her and saying we need to make a big push, we need to send a bunch of officers down, which kind of plays out later on when the guy says we've already lost 60 people. So obviously they did start making that push that we might see more of next episode. And now we see kind of Eichhorst's plan setting into motion. All these fake Strigoi people, Beef Strigoi
made up good foundation Strigoi with like wigs or something.
Yeah, so we saw this.
Because you gotta remember, even Eichhorst has like a very well put together like preparation for when he goes out. Like he has the nice hair, with everything on.
Hey, he never knows when he's gonna run into a DTF girl at the bar, you know? Maybe we'll see her later. Maybe not. So I was kind of disappointed, only in the fact that they clued us into the fact of exploding Strigoi in the season one, in the episode 1 scenes from the season.
Oh yeah.
Because like as soon as I saw Eichhorst putting like little handle things inside of them, I'm like, oh, they're gonna be the exploding Strigoi, which is cool, and I like how it played out. But I was just like, man, I really wish I was kind of caught off guard by this. Like I wish I didn't actually see them exploding in Feraldo's office after the first episode of the season.
Well, what bothered me was that sexy Fett,
sexy Fett, Jeep, jumping
like,
hashtag sexy Fett.
Like, the worms exploded everywhere, and like there's hardly any on him. It's like how
I think he was like worm free.
He was completely worm free. You know, and then it's like he just watched the worm crawl into the woman's eye. It's like, stop it. Stop the worm.
Well, he did put the light on it. He was just
he should have flicked it off.
Let's talk about this. So the bombs go off. White goo everywhere, like a bukkake party in freaking Chinatown. And everyone's covered. Everyone's like, get it off! Get it off! Fett has plot defense. Yeah. He's got his plot armor. Yeah. He can't be harmed. Yeah. Feraldo gets one on her, and Fett's just sitting there like...
And he's watching it, and this is like that long moment, just watching that worm go in her eye. It's like, flick it off.
It's like, hold still, hold still.
Yeah, he's just putting the light on her like, this'll do. I'm like, yo, the light's not helping, man. Like here, do something.
Let's go in the wide for a second. Stacey, there's a worm on you.
I know, right?
Oh, there we go. It's off.
That's all you have to do.
Oh, my God, it's up.
Yeah. That's it. That's all you have to do.
Or take a piece of paper.
Like,
yeah, that's all you have to do.
Imagine if they did that, like they played up the comedy, and it's like, let me just scoop it on the paper. They put a little Tupperware bowl, they like just leave it there.
And I'm like, he's just sitting there, but then he like burns it under
her skin, which was cool. But like, then why didn't any of them burn with Sam Gamgee in the first season when they put the light up to his skin? That was a much more powerful.
Maybe they've improved their lights. Their light technology. They improved the light
that's
technology.
One of those things when that's one of those things when like writers or the script supervisor is it like, hey guys, we can't put this in here because see, in season 1 we did this and it didn't work, so we can't do this now. We had to figure out another reason or another way to fix this. But I guess they were just like, hey, look, it looks cool. The scar looks cool. She'll be cooler with the scar. And you see, once she had the scar, she, you know, I'm sure we'll get to it later, but, you know, she She
But
was
guys,
on mission after
we need
the
to figure out a way to get Feralda in the makeup chair for 30 more minutes. What can we do? The makeup artist has a crush on her. We just need to help
She's
that
like,
along.
I'm indestructible.
She was like, I know where I need to go.
I was kind of grossed out by that scene because
I
I
was
thought
too.
I thought we were gonna get like the logo one where like it was actually gonna
yeah.
bite into her eyeball, and then I was gonna be like, ugh. But no, it just like goes kind of into the side, which is weird because when Felix gets infected, it just bites into his hand and goes into his hand. Like I don't know why I was crawling around up here. It could have just bitten into her.
Maybe she has a hard head or something.
That Feralda, she got that hard head. Feralda's got that hard head. She's gonna be a great governor of New York. She's great.
Oh, you know, she's
She gonna
definitely
fuck up
moving
the
up.
press. Freedom of press, more like freedom of fuck you. I'm gonna take your computers.
Take all these computers. Get them out of here.
Yeah. I go to the pawn shop, I take all the computers. All the footage.
Like the second they told her that the second F told her, you know, you're clear, you're free, you don't have anything to worry about. Immediately she was like, let's go take down the reporter.
It's on. It's on.
So that season, that scene, right? So she's talking to Ephraim, and you know she goes on this again on the nose. 9/11. She talks about how her husband died in the Twin Towers, and
Yep.
I feel like this was a very realistic monologue of what people had to go through, where it's like you don't know if they're alive or if they're dead, and even if they account for most people, if they can't find them, like you'll never truly know.
Yeah.
Like so, it's definitely a very good, touching moment. It's probably the best scene she's delivered in the show.
And it was
Yeah.
spot on. It was accurate because the way she described it was exactly the way it happened. People just waiting for, survivors to come. People waiting to donate blood for people who never showed up. So she's very accurate.
So that was something I think really did justice.
And that, along with all of the one-on-one scenes in this episode, worked very well. Like each and every one, they're really onto something in these last two episodes. So I have to give them that.
Yeah, I mean, the writers have been smarter
Yeah.
as opposed to last season, for God's sakes. So she keeps talking about, and this is a well done scene because it took a character I didn't necessarily care about at all, and like was fairly realistic with like what would you be thinking about if somebody told you you're gonna die in 2 hours, like, and not even die, like you're gonna be the one to have to put a gun to your mouth and kill yourself in 2 hours,
Or have
Yeah.
someone kill you.
Yeah. So like she's just talking about just inane stuff that is just the stuff to be on your mind. Like who's gonna delete my web browser history? Who's gonna who's gonna take care of my garden? Who's gonna do my dishes in the sink? Like I don't want somebody to have to do that because then I'm the person who died and left dishes to do. Like, it was well written. And then he says you're clean, and she doesn't believe him. She kisses him.
I didn't believe him either. I'm like, why didn't you check her chest? Why didn't you check her scalp? Why didn't you check her back?
Because Fett ain't like that.
You might
don't need
have wanted to check the chest after the kiss. You know what I mean? You never know. I mean,
Yeah, but Fett's got Dutch living with him now. He can check that chest.
but I mean, F, he's free.
Yeah,
He's
he's
a
single.
single
He's
guy.
recently single.
He's single. He's in the area. He's looking.
He's
looking for love.
recently not a father. Recently single.
Oh, no.
man.
I think he's found a drinking buddy in Dutch.
Nah, I don't. He wouldn't do that.
You don't think?
Here's how it goes, right? They get out of the taxi, and the Strigoi sitting there, gets up, and is like,
Hello, Ephraim. You want to know about your son?
"What's happened to my son?"
Here are the papers for child support. Send it to this address.
Kelly, you bitch! Damn it, Kelly!
You've been served.
You have been served.
You've been served. I'm out.
I'm not giving you joint custody either.
Messed up. Meanwhile, you have Dutch and Fett having their embarrassingly awkward moment in public in front of everybody.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, there's tons of people who have obviously just been killed because they got infected when they exploded. So they found that to be an opportune time to just have a conversation in the middle of the war.
Hey, man.
Is that my shirt?
Sometimes.
How's Nikki doing? She went with the mother. I wasn't invited. Oh, that sucks.
Like, good.
Is that my shirt? Are you wearing my shirt?
You are my shirt.
Oh,
Yeah, and I'm wearing your underwear too.
that sucks. Like, what can he say? It's
She was just like, I've
that
been
sucks.
staying at your place.
Can I just stay at your room for a few days while I get out of dumpster diving? Oh, that sucks. like, what can he
I love
say?
how you start each of his statements with
That sucks. We killed the master. We took out the Wi-Fi.
Chopped his
That
head
sucks.
clean off.
Yeah, I mean, this was just a very cringeworthy moment between. It was
Yeah.
written to be that way.
Yeah, but
like, you're still
the
like-
whole time you're looking at it like, guys, just you say you're sorry. You say you're
Like
sorry.
I
Get
almost,
together.
I almost wanted Setrakian to come in and I'm like, I think you two need to get your priorities in order because this is bullshit.
You know what I was thinking in that scene when she was like, "Can I stay at your place?" I'm like, "Well, is she gonna have to pay half the rent?" And I'm like, "Wait, nobody has to pay rent in the
is
city
no
anymore."
rent, man.
Yeah, I'm like, "This is kind of ideal. Nobody has to pay rent
There's
anymore."
no rent, just like there's no places to go drink late at night.
I feel like, right? Well,
Is McDonald's open 24/7 or something?
They were,
like,
they
where
were
were they?
playing on.
Yeah,
they
they
were gonna
were
go. They were gonna break in and
Yeah.
steal a drink. But I just think it's funny because I was waiting for Fett to be so savage. Like I was waiting for him, like, oh, by the way, I fucked some girl at the bar the other night. Like just like
It was good too.
Oh yeah, he did, didn't he? I forgot.
Everybody in the chat loved it.
you're gonna pay for half, go Dutch. Oh my god. So we're bad people.
man.
So she for all that ends her scene with, I'm having a moment of extreme clarity here. I'm gonna go fuck some shit up.
Man,
Pardon
she
the
arrested
language.
that.
I'm
She
cursing
arrested
a little
hers
too much
with-
right now. I'm sorry, guys. That's my bad. I'm gonna try to tone it down. I let one slip and it just kind of started a
It's a
waterfall.
cascade.
Cascade. I feel like now would be a great time to tell you guys that if you like the show, you can go to iTunes, rate us 5 stars, give us a comment, we'll give you a shout out. Haven't got one the last week, so I don't have any to shout out, but I will shout out the live chat, which Renji90998, Adam Fink, G Co, the third turd,
The third turd.
Devin Moran, Haywood Wong, Mr. Gary Needs a Beauty. Thanks for tuning in live, guys. Again, we start the show at 9 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on Sundays. Also, hit that thumbs up if you're watching on YouTube. It helps us out a lot, keeps us searchable. Plus, you can leave a comment after the show ends, and it'll be saved. The live chat doesn't save, and, that helps us out, too. And you know what? Another way to help us out is helping out our sponsors. We provide all of our shows free of charge here at
Yep.
AfterBuzz TV. You might get an ad before the YouTube show, but we can't help that. But on iTunes, everything's free, and we don't really make any money doing this. So to help us out, one of the things you guys can do is to support our sponsors. One of our sponsors is DraftKings. Guys, at DraftKings.com, you don't need to come in first place to cash in. Okay?
I won $9 on DraftKings.
Did you guys know that the player who finished 800th in Week 1's biggest fantasy football contest took home $100?
What?
800th.
Oh, what?
Wow.
There's only 800 people left in New York at this point on the string. So if everyone in New York played DraftKings, they would have all at least won some money before they were brutally, horribly turned into Strigoi. But guys, this weekend, DraftKings is hosting another huge fantasy contest with over $1 million in total prizes up for grabs. It is the destination for 1 week fantasy football. Play whatever you want with the players you want. Just pick your contest, draft your teams, and follow the action live. Whatever your level of fantasy expertise, DraftKings has something for everyone. But don't wait, guys. Get to DraftKings.com now and choose your players for this weekend's contest. Enter promo code BUZZ and play for free with your first deposit.
Ooh.
Again, that's promo code BUZZ to play for free for your share of over $1 million in total prizes this weekend. Only at DraftKings.com. Eligibility restrictions may apply. See website for details. But if 800th place wins $100, pretty good.
I need to get me some
Dollar
of that.
bill, y'all.
Maybe I can do better than the $9 I won last season.
I know, right? And if you win 800th place, let's say 3,500,000 times, you can afford to buy your own Lumen.
Well, yeah, that's true.
It was 35 million, so just play DraftKings for 30 years and you'll win a Lumen. So let's get back into it with Ephraim.
Good old F.
Ephraim's kind of like he's kind of like a wiggly worm who goes, play on words, funny. Goes through the storylines today. So Quinlan and Ephraim, he stitches up Quinlan, and he's kind of just voicing his opinions to the knocked out corpse of Quinlan. Everyone last week was saying Quinlan was dead. I'm like, no, there's no way they're killing Quinlan.
Nah, not yet.
F is blaming Quinlan for not having his son back. Basically, he's like, you get your thing, you got to kill the master, you get the book back.
I don't get my son because apparently I'm not smart enough to distrust a bag over a small child's head.
Yeah, he's being victim-y.
He should have
very
known.
victim-y.
The second he saw that bag on that kid's head, he should have been like audible. Like he should just called an audible immediately. Got
So,
Quinlan out there.
We move on to a life lesson of a drunk mind speaks a sober mind. As Ephraim confesses to stealing the book with Quinlan.
Yes.
Not a good thing to do with Fett, and then starts like
Pisses them off.
mouthing off to Setrakian, and then Fett just knocks him in his face and says, "Get the fuck out."
That was a good hit too.
It was, yeah.
Very good hit.
I like seeing Ephraim get shot, get like punched. It's fun. I like that they kick him out at night.
Yeah.
They're just
they're like, we don't care.
they're like, get out of here.
But it's nighttime, guys. I don't care.
I don't care. You took the book. And I am really angry with you for taking the book. I would rather you leave now.
So he's drunk, gets in the taxi cab, goes home, and there's knocking at the door.
He falls asleep in his shoes. I like how people sleep in their shoes on this show.
Man, you gotta
be
sleep in your
ready.
shoes. What would you do if
you
a
never
stinger
know.
came
You gotta
towards
get
your
up.
foot?
You gotta get up and you gotta like shake somebody.
You got your work boots.
Gotta stay. Gotta stay ready. You never know.
Yeah. Always ready. So Dutch comes in randomly. She's like, I'm going to go back to where I was because I don't want to live in a dumpster. Why didn't you come back earlier, Dutch?
I guess self-pity maybe. I don't know.
So F walks in on Dutch peeing. She's wasted. They get wasted together. They're going to drink away their sorrows together.
Hashtag peeing with the door open because I'm like, why are you peeing with the door open? Like she's acting like that's her place. Like she walked
I
in
know.
like that was she wasn't like, may I come in? He opened the door, she burst past them. She had like that's her place. Like, excuse me?
When you got to go, you got to go. And when
Well,
you're
yeah.
super drunk, any place is your place.
I guess good point.
You are right about that.
Very good point.
I mean, what do you care more about at that moment? Peeing or being seen peeing?
Peeing.
Exactly.
I gotta pee. Yeah.
We get a great moment with Dutch here where we kind of are reminded of the fact that these characters remember stuff from 2 episodes ago, except for Zach. Zach doesn't remember anything from anything, but Dutch remembers Eichorst's torture
Zach.
dungeon, and she says, like, I always have nightmares. She gets about three hours of sleep before she wakes up feeling like she's choking. Because, I mean, let's be honest, you can definitely get PTSD from being locked up naked in a room with a chain around your neck, dragging you towards a sacrificial head stump.
Yeah, and that was a very
Eat this pineapple. Eat this pineapple, Michael.
Those episodes were very, very
It's a Nazi pineapple.
like, they're evil. But those episodes were very intense.
Yeah.
Like when she was and that's the kind of intensity that we saw sort of in the tunnel for a second. So like I can definitely see why she's a little on edge after that. You know, she's
Slightly on edge.
hopefully she's ready for some payback though.
That's what I think. Because when F's talking about Setrakian and Fett, and she finds this taser, and she's like, let's go out, I think she wants revenge on Eichorst. She's like, let's find Eichorst, in her mind, I think.
Yeah.
So then they're drinking together. They're like, food time, let's go to dinner. I drew the bug. Orange mocha frappuccinos.
They're like, oh yeah.
It was like, let's go a night on the town. We'll get some drinks, eat some more liquid sustenance, snap your fingers, get in the taxi cab. Oh shit!
Strigoi in the back, like, hey guys, can you drop me off at? By the way, can you drop me off on 3rd? Just right around the corner.
This is what I was saying. They should have just taken an Uber. By the way, they're both wasted.
Yeah.
And they're like, it's nighttime, we're wasted, there's things that want to kill us everywhere. Great time to be alive and go out.
Things that want to kill us probably even more than they want to kill other people because we're like the leaders of the, like, I guess, resistance. Like,
Viva la resistance! I hate that they're doing kind of the thing that The Walking Dead has kind of done, where they are eliminating the threat that the monsters have.
Yeah.
Like when there's a Strigoi in the backseat and they just don't even flinch and they're just like fine with it. They're like, yeah, he was in there.
Yeah.
What you want me to do? He was in there.
I should lock the car.
Right? I'm gonna daze him. Oh yeah, daze him. He's gonna be fine. Wake up
Yeah.
in the morning with a headache. Like, it's just kind of like, okay, so you're not afraid of them anymore. You're just totally
there's-
like fine.
I guess it's because
their
that's
new
their
normal.
daily. Yeah, that's their daily.
That's their new normal now.
I guess maybe because it's they're always in perpetual danger.
Yeah,
so they're
but
just like, it's another
28 days later, you have people who are always in perpetual danger, and one drop of blood gets on you, and they're going to be infected. And they're never just like, oh, it's just another one. They're like,
Yeah. Yeah, I probably would have been a little more
They have too
scared.
much plot armor.
Yeah, way too.
they're constantly on
this
the
is gonna
offensive,
sound bad,
though.
but someone needs to die. Someone serious needs to die. Like Nora died, but they
Killed Coco.
Man, Coco.
Coco
man.
Chanel.
And I saw Coco in something else recently on another show. But anyway, I was like, oh, look at Coco.
She's a hard one to forget.
And now look at what he has to work with. I mean, no diss
got
to the new help, but just saying that she is a different level of assistant than Coco was.
She's closer to his age range. So I like that he turns on the meter, though.
Yeah.
That was cute.
He was like, let's just go and keep this professional, though.
So then the master speaks through the thing, and it's like,
He is with me. He is always with me.
a little creepy. Creepy.
It would have been nice to get a little bit of, like, I guess at least a little bit of trash talk from F, because even though he still has his son, I mean, we chopped off your head and we still have the book. We got a couple of points, too. You know, we can gloat a little bit.
It's dumb to me for one reason. And it's like, this is what I kind of get angry about, is that, like, what's your biggest advantage in tactical combat? Surprise, right?
True, yeah.
So they all think the master's dead. And then the master just decides within one episode to, like, out himself as being alive. Like, couldn't he have done something, like, so dastardly?
Like, very showy and very
pretended to be dead for a while to
Yeah.
lure them all into one place and then just kill them all?
Well, to me, it's like, what's the point of everything they went through in the last episode only to be back where they started at the end of this episode?
But there's a red worm we didn't know about.
Well, yeah, but now he's going to find a new host, and it's going to be like, oh, all that was for nothing, you know?
I mean, yeah, pretty much. Just
This
like in
time
season
it's-
1 when they got him in the light, and it's like, oh, now he's just gonna find a new host, and everything's back to normal.
Yeah, now it's definitely flamethrower time. They have to burn his whole
Now
like the
on the
master's
string.
whole body.
Season 14. Keith Richards is the new master.
I don't know if I can take it for 14.
We know that Keith Richards will never die.
All right, let's move on to Setrakian and Quinlan. Basically, this is Setrakian storyline. I'm gonna just run through real quick because we're running out of time. Setrakian, in fact, they think they killed the master. Strigoi going feral. Fett's excited to exterminate. Ephraim asking to flam, and then Fett socks him out. Whatever. Weird talking from a Setrakian from that scene. Quinlan and Setrakian. Quinlan wakes up, and they mention that life right now is like purgatory. Quinlan thinks he killed the master, but Setrakian's like, well, you're still alive. Is there any way that could be true? Or that could be false, the legend, that if he dies, you die? And he's like, well, I don't know. Duh. I've only killed him
Yeah.
once. So then Setrakian's super skeptical because Setrakian obviously saw the red worm, but apparently didn't want to tell anyone else. Quinlan and the Ancients. He was weakened briefly, now he's formless, and he's like, well, what does that mean? He's like, oh, he hasn't taken another body. You didn't kill the red worm. What freaking red worm?
Why didn't you tell me?
Meanwhile, Quinlan is deciding to display all of the emotions that the audience of The Strain are thinking. It's like, you assholes! You didn't tell us about the damn essence worm.
Maybe they didn't expect him to ever like succeed. Maybe I don't know, because it does seem like very pertinent information. Very pertinent. Like, hey, just in case you cut off his head or like one of his body parts, there's a big red worm. You need to smash that, kill it, burn it, drown it,
And
do
then
whatever
you
gotta
get
do.
to die.
Well, yeah, and then you die too.
It's like me telling you, Mike, it's like, Michael, if you want to get rid of your roach problem, you have to kill the roaches in this position. And you're like, okay, I killed them. Wait a second. Did you burn them or just kill them? You told me to kill them. You didn't tell me to burn them. Oh, you gotta go back.
Oh,
Do
you gotta
it
go
again. Oh, it's gonna be worse
Sorry.
than before. God. So he's obviously pissed off. It was great seeing him go off. He's just like, man, you guys are just husks and mofos. You're just sitting here doing nothing.
Yeah, because they don't really look that powerful. I'll be honest. They don't really scare me.
You're just like this, like.
Yeah.
It's like, you're not really doing much, guy. Okay, you got your army
You'll never see me
daywalkers.
again.
You'll never see me again.
Take a good long
Imagine it's like that awkward thing that happens when you say goodbye to somebody and then you're like walking out the same way. It's like Quinlan and that guy's like, "You'll never see me again." It's like, "Oh, I'm going out this way too."
This way
Okay,
too.
well,
All right.
you'll never see me again after we go. And then they're like walking down the street together. You go, "Oh, I'm going this way. Oh, this is awkward.
Yeah, it's like-
let's just agree to ignore each
Now I'm
other."
gonna just wait and let you get like 10 steps ahead of me. And then,
So Quinlan's obviously pissed off. And that's-
rightfully so.
That's where we leave off here. So we don't know what Quinlan's going to do now. He's going off the grid.
Well, I'm interested to see if like how he attacks the master now. Like, is he gonna try to wait for him to get a new form, or is he gonna try to, I guess, track down the worm somewhere in the, I guess, catacombs?
That's
or
like
something?
trying to find a needle in a haystack, though. Let me
Yeah,
find a worm here in New York City.
Well, yeah, that's true. But I mean, I guess they have to know where they're, or I guess a good idea of where.
Well,
they're,
they know where the master
like,
is.
hiding. Yeah.
F talked to the master, and the master said, "I'm with him always." So
Yeah.
now they have to find Zach to find the master. I think that's their next thing is like, okay, before he finds a new host, we got to find him. And he said he's with Zach, so let's track Kelly.
Ooh, what if...
We're in predictions now.
I'll save
we
it
can
for
say that we're in
predictions.
Your
predictions.
AfterBuzz TV
We got 3
predictions.
minutes, so
So I predict that the worm is going to go into Kelly, and she will be the new host.
ooh,
Okay.
Well, I predict that we have another great episode, and that will be a streak, people. A streak.
it's called the turkey. No, in bowling, you get
Well,
three strikes, you get a turkey.
3 strikes, you get a turkey.
Yeah, I'm hungry, man.
I think that Setrakian should talk normally next episode. It'd be really nice.
I think next episode we're gonna get the warehouses. We're gonna get whatever because we built up Feralda in this episode. So I think now that she's been pushed, which is exactly what Eichorst talked about last episode, because he was like, we need to get her to start taking blood from everybody against their will. Now that she's been pushed to go against the press and to go and to already condone these chain gangs, I think next episode Eichorst makes his move using Eldritch Palmer to have Feralda start getting what they needed. So she's going to start playing into the hand. This whole reporter thing was just a method of Eichorst, I believe, to get her to play loose with her morals, so you can convince her to
civil
do
liberties and stuff.
yeah,
and-
because with the destruction of civil liberties, it lets the master do what he wanted to do in the first place. So that's where we're going with Feralda, and we're gonna see some people on hooks in the blood
On hooks
factories.
or hooking up. I think
No.
F and Dutch are going to hook up.
I don't think so. I think F and Dutch. I thought you were talking about Fett and Dutch. Yeah, maybe F and Dutch. Mm-hmm. But no, they seem more like friends to me. I don't think that'd make.
Yeah, I hope not. That's Fest Girl, man. That's Fest Girl.
But I think we're gonna see
I'm
like
Fett's girl.
the warehouses. I think we'll see the warehouses, at least one warehouse operation with people on hooks just being transported around on meat hooks.
Yeah.
Because we need to get some kind of payoff
Yeah, we
from
do
that.
need to move that forward, and we need to move Eldridge forward with whatever he's going to do with the white as well.
Yeah. So, Haywood Wong asks, can Mr. Del Toro get the show back on track, or is it too late? I mean, with the last 2 episodes, I'd say yes. I think the last 2 episodes are really good. This episode and last week's.
It's not moving forward fast enough. It's like you 2 steps forward, 3 steps backwards to me.
But again, you have to realize that Del Toro's not like hands-on
Like,
with
yeah,
the
he's-
show as
yeah.
much as you'd think he is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He created the concept, he wrote the books, but it's
And I believe he's a producer.
Yeah.
But producer is a very...
It's like the same
it's a
way that George
very
R. R. Martin with
fluid
Game of Thrones,
term.
the show. Like,
Yeah.
he lets the creators do what they're doing. He'll make some decisions here or there, but it's not like that. So that's our show, guys. Thank you for tuning in the live chat. Again, please go to DraftKings.com, play for this weekend's
Get that money.
first deposit free with promo code BUZZ. Go to iTunes, rate us 5 stars, leave us a comment. I'll refresh it right now in case anyone got in the last hour. But where can we find you guys on Twitter?
You can find me at the Stacey Newsome. That's STACEYNEWSOM.
You can find me at One Youngster, which is ONEYOUNGSTA.
And you guys can find me on Twitter at Stephen Lemieux, STPHENLEMIUX, as well as doing the South Park After Show here Wednesdays at 11 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. If you love South Park, it's very topical this season, so it's going to be great. Thanks for tuning in, guys. We'll see you next week for Season 3, Episode 5 of The Strain, entitled Whatever It's Going to Be. All right, see you then.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.